Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now what you see behind me, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, is not the Monkey Cycle Camper Van Mark II. It's something else. And you can see that I have the Royal Enfield Himalayan loaded in because we're going on an adventure. Bear with me and I'll explain absolutely everything. Cue the intro. Well, you join me, not in the Monkey Cycle Camper Van Mark II, but the Mark III, the new Monkey Cycle Camper Van. It's a bit of a story to it, and this has been 3 days of hard work to make this happen, and I'm going to explain all. But I've just arrived in Cambridgeshire at a campsite because we're about to start another crazy adventure. First things first, I'm going to get the bike off, get this set up, and then I'm going to tell you all about it and what's going on. So here you join me in the new Monkey Cycle Mark III, and I'm going to explain the reason why we're in a new camper van basically. But let me just show you the features of this, because this is like next level. I wanted a lordship style camper van, and I've created a lordship camper van in the making. There's still a few bits to be done, but how cool is this? Right, so for the big tour, I'm just going to start with the obvious thing. It's got an awesome ramp that should fold out and I can ride the motorcycle in to be able to clip it in. That's completely broken and that's going to be fixed, but I bought it because I wanted a ramp just like that, let alone it's knackered, but never mind, we'll get that fixed. Now, this used to be an old PTS ambulance, what basically means it used to transfer patients to hospital. There was oxygen bottles in here. You can see some of the remains of that down here as well. It's for oxygen bottles, had piping that came up and an oxygen flow state just there as well. So this is what it used to be used for, and obviously it's been decommissioned, but it's so cool. It's already mostly camper because it's got all the old storage still in it. So there's plenty of upper sort of storage to put all my stuff in, because I massively struggled with space last time. I've basically taken everything out of the old camper, what I designed that camper to be in the first place. Everything was able to come out and go into another. So it's still got the same curtains, it's still got the same unit. I'm going to be adding some gas to that as well, so we've got some gas cooking, and it's going to be sort of my family stroke studio stroke motorcycle carrier sort of tour sort of camper van. It's got to do it all. So it's still got the old bed in it that folds down, that is just awesome because it goes up and it's out the way, but that comes down and gives me a proper, basically almost a double bed, because I'm a lord and that's what I deserve as well. I followed the psychic's advice. He told me to buy this fridge because it was on special offer. It's about 3 times the size of his and it's absolutely huge. But look at this. I can get so much beer. There's not even full with beer yet. That's a big mistake of mine. But it has got, look, all this storage space in it, so that's really cool as well for longer trips away. And I have my Portaloo that came out of the old camper as well. That needs to be painted gold so it makes it into my throne, because I'm a lord and you sit down and you have a golden poo as well. Now this here is my sort of first ever time kind of place I can sit down and edit at night. If it's a hot day, I can undo the door and look at the beautiful views outside as well. That's going to become a permanent sort of table when I can afford to get the bar and stuff that goes underneath, and I'm going to get probably some nice oak or something on the top. But for now it's temporary like it is. But these seats are awesome because it means that me and the psychic can sit down and have dinner as he stares at how amazing that I am. The other side as well, it comes with love handles, so you know you can get some to hold on there while you're having a lot of fun. It's already got the 12 volt and the wire stuff in. Now the psychic put this in for me to make it, so I've got some USBs at the top just here as well, and that's got like a converter thing in there, whatever it's called, but that's going to come out because we're going to be putting on some really cool stuff. Overhead storage again as well. This is a Peugeot Boxster, so it's pretty much got everything we want in it, because again it's Peugeot, and Peugeots are now the best because I own one. So I'm currently running off of good old-fashioned electric, where we're plugging into the mains. Obviously I've paid for a campsite where I've got electric for the van, so I can run a night heater to keep myself nice and warm, and obviously charge all of my stuff up. But there's some massive plans going on with this. Now this camper's cost me £5,000, plus I've taken out another couple of grand as well as a loan, because this is going to be more of a long-term thing, and I just couldn't afford to buy this at the time it happened. Let me explain why. There's a few things that need to be done to this as well, but let me explain what happened to the Mark II Monkey Cycle camper first. So the Monkey Cycle 2 camper, what happened to it was due for MOT. Now I got it quite cheap at the time, and it was a bit of a rush job to get it done, but I generally really liked that Transit camper. It was really cool, but it went in for MOT and it failed. And the problem with it is that I had an adventure planned. I'm meeting somebody tomorrow, I'll talk about that in a minute, and I wanted to be here because I don't like to let people down. It's not my style. I want to be always true to my word. So I was like, I want to get this done. So the Monkey Cycle camper van Mark II, the Transit, that failed on a load of stuff. It needed welding doing, it had problems with the ABS, problems with the steering. And the MOT place that's well trusted turned around and said, look, you can spend some money and get this through this year. You could get it through, but next year it's going to need a whole load more money, and it's just not worth it. So on advice from them, and obviously the psychic as well, it was like, do you know what, this vehicle's really good at this point. For spares and repairs, we'll scrap. So that's where it's going. It's currently sat on someone else's drive, rotting away, because I need to get that scrapped. But that literally gave me basically full days to replace the camper. And I was like, I can't afford to replace it at the minute because I'm doing so much on the channel, I just haven't got the funds. And I was like, do you know what, I need to do like a 5-year investment and look at it like that. So I took out a loan for £7,000 to buy this. Like I said, at £5,000, and I've got the other two because it needs to fix the ramp at the back. That's going to cost some money as well. And then the person that I've bought this from, like a trader, has said that they've fixed the suspension on it. They've done a rubbish job of it, taking out air suspension and putting springs on half leaf springs, and it makes a bit of a noise, and it's a rubbish job. So that needs to be full leaf springs and done properly. So the money needs to go on that as well. But the biggest thing about this camper, the biggest thing of all, is I want to make it almost self-sufficient, so I could go to Scotland, park on the side of the road, camp in this overnight, take the bike and do some awesome stuff, and not rely on having to get electric at all the different campsites. So it will be self-sufficient. So I'm paying for solar panels, battery pack, converter, so it can literally run by itself, stand alone. I would say stealth camper, but Monkey Cycle curtains, and me sat in it isn't very stealth. Not really. So the project itself, I'm quite proud about, because I think this is going to be the best camper in the world. Now, as I said, it's like an ex-ambulance PTS, and it was no way that I was jealous whatsoever of the Psychic's absolutely awesome ambulance that looks absolutely amazing at all. I want to have one just as good, if not better. That's not my reason for spending all this money and buying one, especially because it was an ambulance, to wind him up at all, in any way. Not at all. Now, the build of this camper, well, I said 3 days. It was day one picking it up, and then we had that afternoon, really evening by the time we got back, and the next 2 to make this into what it was. Now, obviously, it had more seats in it. They were bolted through, and I would turn around and tell you all that I did all the work myself, and this is why it looks so awesome. But you know I'd be making it up. The Psychic basically has transformed this in 3 days. I stood around a lot, umming and ahhing and telling him how great I was, and he loved it. And he got this done just for me, so I could come here. So I do owe him, as always, a massive thank you, but he's famous because of me, so he owes me the thank you, really. But anyway, and he's also going to do probably the rest of the work to it. But hey, why do you have a psychic that's like a super engineer if you don't use all of their skills? Do you know what I mean? That's part of his job. Anyway, why we're here. Why we're here is kind of the important thing, isn't it? Well, why are we here? Why have I worked my bum off in the last 3 days, mostly the psychic? Because when I say I make promises, I really do my best to keep the promises. And I promised I'd meet up with another YouTube channel called Ventor, because he's just bought a brand new Honda CRF. And how many people have turned around and said, other than the Himalayan, they'd buy a CRF? Well, only one way to really find out, isn't it? By comparing both bikes together. And he's just bought a brand new one. My bike's still pretty new. Together, look at all the differences between them. Which one's better? Which one would I take if I was going around the world or not? And compare them on and off-road. That's proper exciting. And we had it in the planning. I've had to give him dates, and I've stuck to them, as always. And I can't wait. Now, if you've not seen the Ventor channel, go and check him out, because he does have loads of bikes. He has an electric bike called something like an Erection. He has a BMW GS 1250, the brand new one with gold wheels that he's put sparkly stuff on to make it look really cool. And he's got loads of other bikes. Well, he's got a Harley. He does the badass thing when he rides down the road, looking really cool with dribble coming off of his face. All that cool stuff. And he's got a psychic to his channel as well. So go and check him out, because the guy is absolutely awesome. And it's going to be a pleasure tomorrow for us to get on those bikes head to head and do something really cool. So that's why I've come all the way to, I believe it's called Earley. It might not be called that. Never listen to what I say. But it's in Cambridgeshire, and there's a reason why I've come here to take these bikes and do some green laning, some sort of main roady stuff, and just compare them both. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Once I'm done with that, I'm coming back to the camper for the night. Then I'm going to be setting off, I believe, towards Norfolk way, because we're going to go to sort of an abandoned sort of scrapyard, junkyard, where it's got a footpath that goes through the middle of it, and go and explore that. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And then from now, I'm just going to wing it and make another episode, heading out that way, trying to find something. So it's going to be a few days. It's going to be absolutely awesome, and it's going to be an adventure and a half. And I get to test out the Monkey Cycle Camper Van Mark III in proper true style. And then if there's any problems with it, I can ring the psychic up and get him to come and fix it, because I'm sure he doesn't mind driving many miles just to help me out, as always. So before I make my lordship dinner and settle down for the night, I just want to talk about the charity trip that's coming up as well. Now, I haven't mentioned the charity trip in the last sort of series that I did on purpose, because I've talked about it, and I just generally don't want people to get annoyed with me continually going on about it. But I have to keep bringing it up, because it's almost soon. It's almost going to be in May, and everyone's welcome to come. All the dates and the details are on the Helmet Head Facebook page, and there's some videos and stuff talking about it as well. But we've basically raised over £800 now for this awesome charity. There's the Rainbow Trust Children's Charity. What they help and support families with children that are seriously ill or terminally ill, and what they do is amazing, and they need our help, and we're doing a fantastic job. This adventure is open to everybody, and we're basically going to ride around the UK like the compass, and we're going to be doing it a little bit off track, but it makes sense. North, west, south and east. There's lots of stuff planned, loads going on. It's going to be a big series on the channel as well, and people are welcome to come along. Now, I have a couple of announcements about the charity trip as well that makes it even cooler. Now, I've had a lot of people turn and say to me that what they'd like is to meet us for lunch or a coffee, and unfortunately, to do with the amount of miles that we're going to be travelling, and the amount of filming, the amount of work that goes into it, I can't promise I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, other than we're going to be going to Chapter 1 Diner on the last day with our last ride up for the big party at the end. But this is quite a cool announcement. So what I'm going to release soon on the Facebook page, under the charity trip stuff, the details, I'm going to release the GPS route that we're going to be doing each day. So it's going to be there, so you can pick which day if you want to do part of the route and plan to come and do a little bit of riding with us. The other thing I'm going to do, and this is really thanks to Steve Bolter, who's a patron, a subscriber for the channel for such a long time. He wants to meet up, and he suggested that we do some kind of tracking, and he's spot on. What a great idea. So I'm going to release every single day a way of tracking us, and it's via Google Maps. So you'll be able to click on a link and you'll be literally able to follow us. Now, what I'll say is, if you want to come and find us to say hello, that would be absolutely awesome. It'd be awesome if people would bring along, you know, a can of Red Bull, a chocolate bar, cheer us along, keep us going. You can ride with us for an hour or so or whatever, or just come and say hello. Come along, we'll come up with a special beep so you know that you're there, especially to come and visit us. But either way, there'll be tracking so you can come and find us. You could treat it like the Helmet Head Hunt. That sounds like the one with a C. But anyway, you can come and find us and you can support us that way. So that's kind of big news. I've been dying to tell everybody about it. You can be able to track us, you can be able to get hold of the routes. There's already the entire trip where you can book into the campsites and come along with us and start raising money to add to the total. Like great YouTube channels like The Works, Bike Buddy, they're putting it all over their channels, all over their social media. People are supporting them as well. There's other people coming with us as well. They're raising money and it's all going into one big pot. And so far together, we've raised over £800. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn around and say, will you be the next person to put this total up? Will you be the next person to help that charity, those children, and help those families? Because it would be absolutely amazing and it would rock my world to see that total keep going and keep going. I'm going to put the last few people that have donated on, because we've had so many, it would just take up too long to play everybody, and I apologise for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the last few people that have donated up on the screen. You get a taste for what you can do. You can leave a message of support for us as well. But please consider it, if you've got a few quid, even if it's a quid, it really doesn't matter. Just support what we're doing, this ride. It means the world to me, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I just want to say a massive thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting the channel. These guys literally support this channel with their hard-earned money, and it helps go towards creating all of this stuff and making my dreams come true, and we can ride and share all these videos with you. So thanks. It's from 99p. You get your name in the credits. You can see videos first. You can support the channel as little as much as you like, as always. And then obviously, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a subscriber, and I can't wait for tomorrow's episode. I can't wait to get on the bike, get in the kit, test these bikes out and see how awesome the Himalayan is. It's going to be absolutely epic. Anyway, until the next episode, take care, ride safe, see you later.